Buddy JC here with another T&I toy review. And for today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the new Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Armored Batman 112 collective figure from Mezco Toys. Now this is one of their San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, and you can still order it on their website. The figure comes packaged in the similar style packaging we see with all their 112 collective figures. You've got this rectangle type box, and this box stands at about just a little bit over 11 inches in height, and then the width is just under 9 inches. And on the front of the box, you've got that Batman vs. Superman logo. You've got the Dawn of Justice logo up at the top. You've got a little sticker here that says a Comic-Con exclusive and the name of the figure down below. On the side, again, you just have the Batman vs. Superman logo. And then on the back of the packaging, you have some images of the actual figure. Now, this is actually a slip case thing like we again see often with these 112 collective figures. So this is actually a clear slip case which has the images, has the logo on the front, and then the Batman images on the back. The actual box on the front is just plain. You've got the 112 collective, you've still got the Batman logo on the side, and then on the back you have an image of the armored Batman. And then if you don't want to take the figure out of the packaging, you can open this up. It attaches with a magnet, and you got the figure clearly displayed on the one side, and then on the other side you have the Batman logo. Okay, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with all the other contents. And this figure does come with a number of different accessories which we'll go over in just a moment. Now, first of all, the figure does have this little instruction sheet, and this is for switching or putting in the batteries for the light up eye effects. So basically what you do is you just pop the head off on the figure, and you'll notice there's this little screw here, and you just unscrew it with a Phillips head screwdriver, and then you put in these watch batteries which are included, and then this is the power switch. Now you also get a spare screw in case you lose it, and it's included in the little Ziploc bag, and we get, you know, with all the 112 collective figures so that you can store any accessories that you're not using. Like with all the 112 collective figures, we get a figure stand, and this is just a circle base. It's a piece of plastic black with the Batman vs. Superman logo in red. And this works one of two ways. So it works as a regular figure stand where you can just plug the little peg here into the peg hole on the figure. So you can just stand the figure up like that. Or you can make it a flight stand, and so you can pop this little peg out, and the easiest way to do that is just to take the little flight arm and push it through like that from the back, and it'll pop right out, and then you just plug in this arm, and the arm's got multiple points of articulation, so here and here and then here, and then the little clamp piece just slides on like that, and the clamp you can rotate, and it's got articulation there and here as well, and it's got little screws so you can tighten and loosen this however you want. So again, you can basically, you know, put your figure in some flight and jumping poses and stuff. Now this has got an extra piece to it that we don't normally see with the figures because of the cape, and so basically they've given you this extra piece. So it's just a clear piece with these holes in it, and what you want to do is you want to just snap it on here, and then they've also included these little twisty ties, so you get 4 of them, and what you do is you just one end has got a little clip and the other end's got this little plug, and so what you do is you just put these in, plug them into these little holes, and you'll have to kind of play around with it the best, you know, to pose it. And there are various lengths and stuff. You got 2 that are shorter and 2 that are longer. So I'm actually going to just go with the 2 shorter ones. And so what you do is basically you put your figure in, and then you can put the cape, and then you can kind of clip it in. But the idea behind it is basically it allows you to like put the figure in various poses and have the cape kind of posed as well. So we get 4 different pairs of hands with this figure. You get a pair of closed-fisted hands, and these are the ones that are attached to the figure when you first take it out of the packaging. Then you get a pair of open relaxed hands with the fingers straight out. Then you get a pair of just regular grip hands. and then you get a pair of hands for holding a gun or something. He's got the trigger finger sticking out. So nice detailing on these hands with the paint applications. I like the little washwork on the armored plates on the hands to give it that metal look. So I think they've done a really nice job with the paint applications on these hands. Switching the hands out is easy. You just pull the hand out and you've got the little peg on the arm and you've got the hole on the hand, and then you just replace it with the one you want to switch it out with and plug it in, and it should snap right in, and it snaps nice and tight. We get a grapple gun, and again, nice detailing with the paint applications, with the wash giving it that metal look, and the sculpting detail is pretty nice on this as well. And you get two little grapples, so you get one with just the hook, and these are kind of a soft plastic, so rubbery type plastic, so you don't have to worry about them breaking. And you can just slide this one in if you want. There's a little hole in the front of the gun. And then you've got the second grapple hook that's got a string attached to it. So this one, you've got this little plug on the end, and at first I thought you could slide this in, and maybe you're supposed to, I don't know, but it doesn't fit very well. So if you really wanted to, you could probably get that in there. Maybe have to shave it down a little bit, but it doesn't really seem to just slide right in there. So I don't know if technically it's meant to fit into the gun or not, but like I said, if you really wanted to, you could make it happen if you wanted. And I don't know how well this would really hold the weight of the figure, so it's kind of more for looks, I think, than anything. We then get his grenade gun. He used this to shoot those kryptonite gas grenades in the movie. So you can, it's got some working pump action on the front, and you can pull the stock back here. So that's pretty cool. And it's got a working strap with a little clip, so you can actually unclip it if you want to. Just unsnaps like that. So that's nice detailing there. And again, nice sculpting detail and nice paint applications. You've got some wash work to give it that metal look to it, which I think comes out looking really nice. They also provide two little kryptonite gas grenades, and again, nice detailing with these. You got a little bit lighter metallic silver, and on this one it looks like maybe even you can see a little bit of green, so for the kryptonite, I guess. So I like the detailing. And then you can put one in at a time there's a little hole in the front of the grenade gun, so you can just slide it in there so it looks like you're about to shoot a gas grenade at Superman or Doomsday if we ever get a Doomsday figure. Getting to hold the weapons is pretty easy. The hands are actually kind of made out of a rubber type material, so they have some flexibility to it. So like if you have the trigger finger hand in, then he'll hold this grenade gun pretty easily and nice and tight. And the final accessory we get is the kryptonite spear, and I like the detailing on this. It's actually got a nice weight to it. Feels like maybe some die-cast metal used on this. So you've got this green clear translucent plastic for the kryptonite piece, and then the end of this thing is pretty pointy as well. It's got a sharp point to it, and then you've got the darker colors with the metallic to give it that metal look to it. So again, really nice detailing, nice weight to the spear that they've provided. Now I do want to caution, when you're taking it out of the packaging, be very careful. Don't try and pull it out with this kryptonite piece. It's actually tied in with a little twisty tie, which is hard to see, and if you pull on this too much, you could snap that, so just be careful. For the spear or the grapple gun, it's better to use just the regular grip hand, and then you just slide it in there like that. And again, he holds it nice and tight. For the figure itself, I think they've done a really nice job with the sculpting detail and the paint applications. They actually use die-cast metal, so the armor pieces are actually metal, and so they look like they're actual armor pieces. And then I like the sculpting detail in the armor. You've got little nicks and everything. Now one thing though is, after handling the figure, your fingers kind of start to smell this metal smell that the figure has, so just be wary of that you might want to wash your hands after you've handled the figure for a bit. But the figure definitely has a nice weight to it, and again, I like the sculpting detail. The face I think looks good. Now the helmet's not die-cast metal. The head sculpt doesn't use the die-cast metal, but it looks almost the same as the actual metal pieces, so I think they've done a nice job. And then I've put the batteries in, so I'll show you the light up eye feature, which works pretty well. So again, you want to pop the head off, then just flip the switch and then pop it back on, and you can see the light, it lights up pretty well. I don't know how long the batteries last, so you probably don't want to leave it on indefinitely, but again, it does light up pretty nicely, and I like the, you know, kind of fluorescent lighting that they've used on the eyes. I think that looks good, and I think the skin tone is good. And then again, I just like the sculpting detail on the helmet and everything. And even though the armor pieces are metal and plastic, they do use cloth, just like you know, the 112 collective line is known for. So under the armor pieces, you'll notice here that the costume you see underneath is actually a cloth material, and then of course the cape is a soft goods cape, and the cape is very large. They gave him a very large cape, and it's actually tattered at the bottom. And you can use those twisty ties in the stand to kind of pose the cape if you want, like I told you before. And then like he's got this belt piece, that's a separate piece. Again, this is plastic, a soft plastic, and you've got the gold metallic paint there, and you've also got some gold metallic paint down here. So, you know, again, nice detailing. I like the spikes on his feet. It looks really good. So again, I think they've done a really nice job of capturing the overall look of the armored Batman and how he appeared in the movie. In case you're wondering, the cape is not meant to be removed, I don't think. It's attached here on this chest piece, and you could yank it off if you wanted to, but it doesn't appear that it's actually meant to be removable. The chest piece itself is made with die-cast metal, and it's a separate piece on the figure, but again, not really meant to be removable. So this figure stands just under 7 inches tall. Here's a comparison with the Mattel Multiverse Armored Batman figure, and these two are pretty close to the same height. The Mezco figure is maybe a little bit taller. And then for one more comparison, here's the Mattel Multiverse regular Batman and Superman figures, and the Mezco figure is definitely the tallest of the three. So articulation on this figure is pretty good. The head, you can look left and look right, and he's got good down movement. He can't really look back a whole lot. He can look up a little bit, but this piece, this back neck piece, kind of limits some of that movement. You can also kind of pivot the head to the left and the right as well. So again, overall pretty good movement with the head. Arms attached with the standard ball hinge joint there at the shoulder, so he can get his arm out good, and he can rotate. Now you do get that where that kind of cloth material, when you rotate the arm, kind of bunches up, so you've got to be careful with that. Doesn't feel like there's a bicep swivel, single hinged elbow, I believe, and then you've got this armor piece that kind of limits that movement as well. Now, thing to note, you got some rotation here a little bit. This arm piece kind of comes off, so it's kind of weird, but this is actually articulated, and this is actually plastic, not metal, and so you've got some articulation there. So it attaches, basically the glove basically attaches there with a peg, and then you've got swivels at the wrists, and you've got the hands are attached with ball joints, so you've got some up and down movement there a little bit with the hands. Then he's got a waist swivel, and he may have a ab crunch, I don't know, but this chest piece is going to prevent any real movement there. So if it does, it's not really usable. And then you can do the splits about that much, and he can get his leg forward about that much, and he can do his leg back pretty good. He's got a thigh swivel, it feels like, and then single hinge knee pretty much, so he can bend his knee about that much. And then he's got up and down movement with the feet, and he's got some pivot there with the feet as well, and he's got rotation there with the feet, and then 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I like this figure. I like the way they've incorporated the cloth aspects of the costume with the die-cast metal pieces. I think the armor pieces come off looking like armor. Even the parts that are plastic, I think, look like actual metal. So I think they've done a really nice job in that regards in capturing the look of the armored Batman costume from the movie. I also like the light-up eyes effect, and you get some pretty cool accessories. The articulation, it's not horrible either, and I think it's kind of fitting for a guy, you know, walking around in a big armored suit like this. So this figure is available on Mezco's website. It was also sold at San Diego Comic-Con. We'll have a full gallery of images up at toynewseye.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. Also, if you haven't already, please follow me on my Facebook and or Twitter pages. I'll have links to those in the video description as well. And until next time, I'll catch you later.